And yeah, if you don't know what I'm doing here, NeWest Press is an independent publishing outfit located in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And I've been reading through our backlist of books every day at 1 o'clock to try and give people something else to think about, given all the other stuff that's going on and more things keep happening. So let's see if anyone watches this. Yeah, so Gerald Hill's book, it was his second poetry book with us, I believe, and it came out in 2015. It's a really interesting text looking at the sort of subdivision he grew up in outside Winnipeg. And the poems kind of break across pages. He wanted us to think of it as being a scroll, and each page would just have chunks of poems. It's a little bit difficult to put together, but in the end it turned out okay. Here's the back cover copy. In his new poetry collection, Gerald Hill invites you to take a cruise down the streets of Hillsdale, learn about its architecture, rehearse its schoolyard taunts, and sample its denizens' favorite drink recipes. Fusing history, geography, and autobiography to create a document of life in Regina's suburbs. Oh, Regina, not Winnipeg, sorry. Then and now, Hill peels back placid suburban archetypes to expose the messy, challenging systems churning underneath. Spend some time in Hillsdale, and you'll soon realize that places have stories of their own, chronicles to be read as deeply as any book, if you know what you're doing. Tom Wayman, author of Dirty Snow and Winter's Skin, says, Hill is a master of displaying the mystery in the mundane, what we often overlook in the obvious, and the incredible richness of how people ingeniously craft a life for themselves, despite social and economic forces that do not operate for their benefit. And Fred Waugh, author of Diamond Grill, says, an intense and fascinating exploration of the layering of thought and feeling about place that goes much deeper than mothballs. This book collage of poetry is so down to earth. Front cover is a map. And the author, sorry, my phone was going. And the author has actually put out a separate map that you can purchase from his site that kind of links up with this book. So I'll read you a couple poems from here. It's been a long time since I read this. I quite liked it, though. There's drink recipes. There's all kinds of stuff in this book. Forward. You're entering Hillsdale, a southern suburb of Regina. Opened to its first new houses in 1956, Hillsdale was a modern suburb, in the mid-50s sense of modern urban design. As if protecting two sensibilities, the car and the family, the design featured perimeter through streets and a snarl of interior bays, crescents, and cul-de-sacs. I moved to Hillsdale with my parents and sisters in 1961. I moved there again with my own family, this time in 1995. By 2008, Hillsdale becomes a textual field on which a boy, 1961 to 1972, and a man, 1995 to 2010, and a traveler, as ever, arrive and leave, return and leave, figuring out who and where they are. It becomes a document faithfully received, playfully rendered. Laid out as streets and crescents on annexed farmland, Hillsdale becomes the text and images laid out in this book. Hillsdale welcomes you. So I'm just going to start. They kind of flow together, so you'll see what I mean. Here are the sisters inside with their cute friend Gloria. After school, the Stooges came on and the moms came home. And the dads came home and called you home, and you had to... Happy hour, dads. Get home right now. Ron walks to Ralph's place. Ralph pours him a rum and coke. Ron calls Doris, who says, just a minute, puts on beans and wieners for the kids. Do your homework, no TV, we're at the Gillums. Rum's poor, adults argue, drunk outside some poor kid's room. We have no idea what parents think about things we ride. Their back seats mow, their lawns carry up and down driveways, their garbage cans for that. We get our rooms and white jeans, our records and new horns, and every school day the walk down Anderson, so one day maybe we grow up. Girls live past the park on the right. One has a dad who built a swimming pool. One is Buxton. In the lineup for class photo, girls in the back row, girls in dresses, girls whose names you write, Brenda and Joan, Lisa, Diane, Colleen. Night comes. Morning neighbor Mitchum picks you up in his olds for a job in his warehouse with working men. You neither working nor men, talking kitties, and going home to hump the old lady in Ukrainian. Swear all day you learn rough games. Your voice deepens. Your legs shoot your jeans. Your sisters can't believe that man speaking from your body. Story goes, Eva got relieved of her darkness back of Gardner easement, 12-foot right-of-way New Alice in Hillsdale. Running from the park east meant play, hide, smoke, spray paint who you are, or become. You and Eva dropping acid on the floor of a great sea. A sign says, "My cat Squirrely wants back home. Please, if you see him, do call." A time like this point out philanthropism, yes, what they did. For downtown, how far their name builds time and land in letters, to/from the city. Strong in the Roman Catholic Church, how one could criticize profit. Works for all, even me, on our shiny floors, blocks, lots, patios, our L shapes, our steps going down, bedrooms, our peacock feather flags. There's some interesting stuff in here. You get a list of all the men who became streets in Hillsdale, as well as the soil composition of the roads. Some kind of concrete poems, doing urban design, looking at old maps. Your space looks familiar. How schoolish your emptiness, newly fenced, how wide the goodness of Jubilee Avenue. How farmed off the edges, how close your Safeway. Undense your density, how one-sided sidewalks. How emptying your moving van, open your fields, X your farm lined up. You huddle there, building what is good for you and the other's good. Yeah, this one's kind of hard to read out loud, so if you want the real sensation of it, you should probably buy a copy, because there's lots of diagrams and things. It's a very strange book, but it's cool. Sisters, their drainage. All night, all day, we mop in shifts, mop and stay up, make toast, the builder screwed up. Plain and simple, the house too low, grading poor. Mom and Dad away, wouldn't you know it, 5 feet of water. Comes over and tells us our sump pump has cemented in exactly what he says, cemented in. The piano is floating. Mom's Kenmore sinks your precious pool table. Bob's against the fake mahogany. My toy box is lost in all our prom dresses. Well, I didn't have a prom dress. Dad's army uniform, my first wedding dress. I think I'll do one more. So this is cataloging his room in 1962 and what he had there. A boy's room, 1962. The private bedroom, a Georgian innovation for a growing inner life, and the need to express this in physical ways. Why told Rybczynski, home, a short history of an idea. Enter here. 1. Lightest south window. 2. The Finn kid, next door Catholic kid, red hair, shoots baskets bouncing. 3. Ledge along 2 walls, 5 feet up a Sopwith Camel and HMCS Regina. 4. 12-volume set of Britannica Jr. I read and I don't know why. 5. Transistor radio vinyl case, I hear Oklahoma's hot. 6. Wooden desk, what I know of office surplus, and thump thump, it's Finn again. 7. Remington portable black case lid hooked from the hinges and close. 8. Trombone music, stand noon, I practice, the Finn kids at school. 9. Bifold closet, white jeans, Mr. Charles shirts, Mad magazines. 10. Penance felt but not remembered, Vernon, Winnipeg, Minyo. Exit here. So it's kind of circling around this kid's room. So yeah, it's a really interesting book. It's one that really, you have to get in print. It's the only way it kind of makes sense. So if you're interested in getting your own copy of this in print, we are selling it still at allitup.ca. Still haven't gone back to the office. It's been many days now. But yeah, it's really interesting to check out if you're interested in Regina, the idea of living suburbs, being distanced from one another in suburbs. I think it's going to make a comeback right away here. So yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you on Monday.